Hi, I'm Rob Delory. Today I'll be giving you an overview of the steps in the sales process. Now, oftentimes when people start out their sales career in a small business, they're basically left to figure out how to sell all on their own. Larger businesses usually have seasoned salespeople that show new people how to sell. But this can be a limited education since most of these larger companies don't allocate the time and resources to fully train someone and instead utilize a mentorship program. This can be good or not so good depending upon the skill and motivation of the senior sales rep or the sales manager. Now, many corporate environments have the benefits of training departments and have built established processes. However, these can often be rigid and developed around specific skills with limited focus to just their own particular process. In creating this sales training, I'd love to be able to provide the essentials to teaching you how the sales process works. Like many other industries, there are proven guidelines and steps that work well, and by aligning your techniques and style to this process, you'll achieve more success. In the long run, you'll find that it saves you time, frustration, heartache. Most importantly, it'll show you how to consistently close business and help you make more money. Now, these are the sales steps: prospecting, qualifying, rapport, questions, presentation, objections, and then the close. Now, don't be overwhelmed at first. These steps over time will start to feel very natural. Even though they are steps to help you reach your goal, notice that they all sit one on top of the other. This is because each one is built off the previous steps before. In learning this process, you will understand why each is important and why there is an actual order to them. Now let's delve into and get a little bit more definition of each of them. First, prospecting. Of all the steps in the sales process, this is the one that's been the most contentious over the years. As you work for multiple companies, you will find that expectations can vary. The smaller the business, the less likely they are to have dedicated marketing, and you will end up finding that much of your time is spent on developing your own lead generation. A task that in larger companies is usually assigned to a marketing team. Either way, sales do not happen without leads. If you have the good fortune to have these leads generated by someone else, or you have to do it yourself, it is still the first step in your process. As a salesperson, you may end up doing anything from cold calling to asking existing customers for referrals. But once you have a lead, it is now time to take the next step, and that's qualifying. This step can come in many forms. It can be as simple as looking up the company online, determining if they're the right type of customer for your business. Other times, it may occur in the first meeting when you're determining their needs. The key here is if you know that they do not qualify, you need to learn to gracefully let go and move on. The point of that exercise is that you and the client will likely invest a decent amount of time throughout this process. And because of this, you want to make sure that it is not time wasted. As a salesperson, your largest commodity is your time. Unlike manufacturing or other established business practices, there's a lot of uncertainty to a salesperson's job. Because of this, we need to make sure that you're using this time as efficiently as possible. Too often, salespeople pursue a deal because they're enamored by the revenue of the company or because they believe that they are a strong, well-known brand and they should definitely be your customer. Qualifying is knowing if they are the right fit. As you progress through the rest of the steps, you will find that you can uncover more information, and that qualifying is a continual process right through to the end. Rapport. If someone can easily evaluate and place an order online, then there would be no need for a salesperson in that particular company. But because many products and services, especially in B2B, do require more information and conversation, people end up buying from people, which is where we come in. Since human interaction is required in certain situations, it is a good idea to develop rapport as soon as possible. This consists of clients having confidence in the salesperson, building trust, and feeling that they can have an open conversation about their company needs. As simple as it sounds, people like to buy from people that they like. Once again, this is a step, but it also continues throughout the sale. Next is questioning. You can you can't expect the client to know what information to provide. Yes, they will have an idea of what you're looking for, but this gives you the opportunity to qualify and be able to get a very streamlined presentation that fits their needs exactly. When starting at a new company, one of the first things that you should dedicate your time to is understanding your product and service well enough where you know exactly what to ask the client. This will help you to build a better presentation, and it will increase the confidence that the client has in you. Prospects will often judge your capability by the questions that you ask them. Presentation. Once you've gotten to this stage, you've done your research to address their questions. You will then put together a presentation to showcase your company as a solution to their issues. Most companies have what might be referred to as a boilerplate template. You might change a few items for the needs of the client, and other opportunities may require you to create a fully customized PowerPoint just for them. By the way, an actual presentation isn't always needed in some cases. You may find yourself immediately responding to their questions over the phone directly after you've asked all of the questions. The purpose is to showcase that you have heard and addressed their questions from the previous steps and to showcase why yours is the best solution. This step, it is your sales pitch. Objections. It's a bit cliche, but overcoming objections is what can separate good salespeople from great ones. If you are receiving objections, follow-up questions, requests for clarification, this means they're interested. If you didn't get any questions at all and the sales stalls, that's probably because they just didn't have an interest and didn't want to waste their time with talking any further to you. This is why it's so important to have thought out objections and answers before they even come up. I'd much rather overcome objections right there in the room than have a lag time because I had to go back and ask for answers. So if you want to be strong in this, ask others what objections they've heard before and try to get really good at being able to address them with confidence. Closing. If you've gone through all of the previous steps successfully and in the last step addressed all of their objections, then there is only one logical step. Now, one of the easiest, but for some salespeople, the most uncomfortable step is to actually ask for the sale. Since you, as a salesperson, are in control of the process, you can't assume the client will automatically decide, ask for, and sign the contract. It'll happen sometimes. But if you want to consistently close business, you'll need to be able to get good at this. This is where seasoned salespeople show their experience. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, these are built one on top of the other. This makes it very easy to go back in your steps when a sales is stalled or something changes. If, for example, you can't seem to get them to close, it may be because you didn't overcome some of the objections. Or perhaps you were a few days into the process and a new decision maker is introduced in the conversation. This may cause you to go back more than one step to qualify this person as well and then start building rapport. In using these steps, you'll always be in control of your side of the process. There are many variables outside of your control, and this will help you to manage the parts that you can. The best part of this is when your manager now asks, where are you with a specific opportunity? You'll be able to confidently let them know because you have the process to fall back on. In more of these videos, I will get into deeper detail and share tactics and strategies on how to maximize each of these steps. I hope you found this helpful. Now go out there and sell.